All right, low impact and toning. We are going to start with our rhythmic limbering, which is going to get us set up for a little circuit. Okay, so we'll be warming up if you have your light resist band, we're going to be doing our halos around the world. We're going to try to get our hip flexors and everything loosened up, and our knees and our ankles ready to be flexing for us. All right, so I've already started off into a quick step touch. All right, can you add your arms when they cross down, right? Palms towards you, and then when you lift them up, you're not trying to lift real high. I just want you to turn your hands palms up, palms into the body on the down, palms up. Should feel pretty natural. Give me about 4 more, and then we're going to hold the arms in the horizontal plane, right? Which just means hold them up. Give me heel taps. So now tighten up the arm position, right? And we're going to go little crosses. Turn the palms down, turn the palms up. You're already starting your little brain teaser, okay? Down, up, palms down, palms up. You're alternating, right? 5 more. 4, 3, 2, relax the arms, back to step touch. We're going to keep our step touch really tight so that we can do 2 steps each direction, fairly quick tempo, right? You're like, oh, we're right into it. 2 steps, 1 and 2, right? Your chair is going to be used for when we go into our walkouts into forearm plank on the chair. All right, so instead of doing the walkouts down to push-up position on the floor, we're going to use the chair for that. Our light weights are going to be used for rear delts with our body draped over the chair into tricep kickbacks. Our heavier weights are going to be used for deadlifts and rows. So I've already got it all planned out, all right? Which is not like me because I often can't stick with my plan. So don't let me forget what I just said we were going to do. When you come this way, go back to single step touch now. All right. Heel tap, arms. Give me 4 more. 4, turn the thumbs up and back. 3, 2, keep your heels in tap mode, arms at the horizontal plane, bring them to the front, alternate palm up, palm down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What happened? Did something crazy happen with your arms? Try it again. Up, down, palms, up, down, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, release, relax. So into your little knee lifts, we're just using these first couple of minutes to get that whole process of brain connected with the body, feeling anything in our body that might be like triggering this, like, oh man, that doesn't feel right. Pay attention to what your body tells you and scale back to the point where you're trying to do pain-free repetitions. That's really important. A pain-free repetition does not mean that you can't do the move. You just have to find where is the zone that doesn't cause you that little alarm bell, right? Belly to spine, shoulders back. Give me 8 more of these. 7, 6. Think about going and getting your elastic band. Off to get the band. All right. So already the heart rate has come up a little bit. If you have a more traditional band, right? They come in all different colors and resistances, and the traditional bands are significantly longer than my little red bands, all right? So if that's the case, you would put your hand through the handles and then grab the strap, because sometimes you might want a little bit more resistance than what the if you've got my band, if I didn't send you a double band. And so these bigger, or I should say these longer bands that have more resistance to them, there is no reason why you can't use it if your shoulders allow you to do that, right? It took me a while, which maybe I shouldn't be admitting. It took me a little bit using the band to figure out to put your hand through the handle. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but sometimes we just grab these accessories and we start moving them. And then we got all this extra little swing, right, of the rest of the band that's not being used. So it's cumbersome. I've already started the next thing. Can you tell? So not only are you swinging your arms around you, and even if you can't get your shoulders to want to come back for you, then you just stay high and try to stretch the legs apart, right? You can be into this little rocking step, and then the leg that goes forward, like stretch the body with it and then offload. Let's reverse the arms, right? So you're just moving forward and back a couple of steps, trying not to always end up with the same leg forward. And then when you step, like pull everything apart, and you should feel like as you take your leg into that stride and you slow yourself down, that the arms kind of coordinate, and as you pull your arms, your body naturally just wants to do a little more stretching, right? You're like, yeah, but this isn't stretch class. This is low impact and toning. Do you think that there's not some toning happening as you move the band and pull your parts apart like you're in a massive lunge? Release and relax. The key is to get our parts as heated up as we can before we make demand on them. Next thing, side edges of your big toes touching, draw the knees together, your hands get to cup the knees, and we're going into circles. Okay. You're in a long spine. Don't make the mistake of doing this and then taking your hands and pushing down on the tops of the kneecaps. No, that's not good. You want to practice your length, draw the shoulders out of the ears, and the hands are just helping guide those knees together. When you come down and you start your circle around, let's pay attention to what's happening at the heels. It's very easy to get toe loaded where you lose the contact through the heel. But if you will maintain the heel connection to the floor, you'll actually feel some stretch, I hope, along the underside of the ankle bone. Rewind. 10, 9, focus on the ground now instead of looking in the screen. 8, 7, shoulders out of the ear. 6, hips are back. 5, you're loaded in your heels. 4, belly to spine. 3, 2, come up, release. Grabbing your lightweight. All right. I'm curious to combine two things here, and it's going to seem, I'll show you. So in the past, we've done a step forward into a balance, okay? Step back, other leg. Step forward, see if you can load the leg and balance. Step back, forward. Now, on your loaded leg, can you take your body, go into what looks like a single leg deadlift, right? And from there, can you pull into your rear delt? Stand up, step back, step forward, load the other leg, control your balance. And now, if when you hinge forward, that's when the wheels fall off your bus, put your rear foot down so that you can stay elongated through the spine, right? Down the arms come, rock your body back up to its controlled state, step back, step forward, balance. Decide now, are you needing the trailing leg to help you, or can you hinge? And if you can hinge, then the next act would be to take your extended leg and make it longer and sweep the arms to rear delt squeeze. Pull the arms down, stand up, step back, step forward, and balance. Pick your position, pull with the arms. So since we are not doing a repeating arm position, This is a compound movement. That means we're taking multiple aspects of movement, combining them to make an even more challenging exercise. Focus on the floor. Step, long spine. Even if your rear leg doesn't leave the floor, lengthen it, pinch the buns, pull the arms, and down. Come up, step back, step forward. Elongate your body, softening the front leg so that it tips you into this diagonal line. Pull the arms. Do 2 more, 1 on each side. I cheated with that one. I forgot to rise up before I step up. Here we go. I'm going into the full position. What I am doing, and I did it again, I am maintaining the single leg squat position on the front leg. That's a primary position because that's your balance hold. All right, this is the last one. Pull, don't step back like I just did on the last 2. Stand up and then step back. Sometimes the words that come out, my body doesn't follow. Grab a little drink. It's time to get the heart rate up. That maybe it may be that drove the heart rate up. This next thing is bound to. Start forearms on the chair, right? So we're going to take and push the hips up. And you're like, that kind of looks like modified downward dog. Indeed. Put your hands on the chair, push away, and then your heels should touch the floor. Walk your hands back to your feet, bend your legs, roll up. So now, if you're here, then you know that your chair is the right distance from you. Bend your legs, roll forward, roll forward, roll forward, hands, hands, hands. Go to elbows, elbows, elbows. Brace, knee to chair, other knee to chair. Brace the legs, get your hands to push you away, and then the hands find the floor. Bend your legs as much as you need to walk the hands back, roll yourself up. So that is 2 of 10. Roll down. In the event the walkout feels like it's too much, then stay put and just do your knee to chair touches, right? As many as you can before you feel like you need to take a break. Right before I roll up and down, I allow the softening of the knees, right? Because it helps me get closer to the floor. Elbows on the chair, pull the knee in, pull the knee in, push up to your hands, walk back, softening the knees, load the feet, up you go, down. We're going to say this one's number 5. Get into elbows. Your shoulders are directly over your elbows. Push back, load the hands. That might be the hard part. Maybe you can't actually get to the hand push and you have to put your elbows, right? Go from your elbows back to the floor. Right? You will figure it out. Elbow, elbow, knee, knee, hand, hand, hand to the floor. Bend the legs, roll it up. Pick up tempo for the last 3. Walk it out, get there. Now, maybe you're doing something similar to what I'm doing, and we're not giving ourselves enough time to go flat hand. That's okay. I'm using spider, like I call them spider fingers. Your tips of the fingers are helping you out. Your heels come off the floor. There's no reason to not these little things with our body that you might not even realize need help. Fingertip, fingertip. Now, this is your last one. Can you go flat palm? Because it requires you to drop your hips deeper, right? That could be the whole reason why we're doing a little bit of a modification. And then you get here and it's a little bit harder to get your elbows to the chair. Knee, knee, pull it in, push, pull. Drive yourself back up to your strong arms. Soften your legs, go flat palm if you can, flat palm if you can. Load the heels, round yourself up. Chair is coming into the equation. for your row. So I want you to have your lightweight and one heavyweight. All right, so I'm going to keep one of my 2s and one of my 10s. Because your row, right, is working larger muscle than your tricep, we're starting with the row. My leg that's not on the chair, if that leg wants to stride back, it kind of sets you up for a cockeyed body. So in my opinion, right, you're going to pull that leg into a more neutral line with your kneeling leg. All right. Allow the arm to take the stretch, right? Glide the shoulder blade up. The neck is free and clear. Pull the elbow towards the rib line. Stretch, glide, tuck it in. Stretch, glide, tuck it in. So when I'm with people, there's a couple of things that I check. And as I walk around my client, right, if when they're pulling up, I see their elbow kind of pulling away from their body, I already know, right, that if the elbow glides away from you, then you're not in your shoulder blade tuck position. So that's really important, right? If when you pull up, your hand draws towards your chest, you're using bicep instead of back. Reach, pull. Inhale, exhale, 5, inhale down, 4, 3, 2. I want you to leave the dumbbell down. Get ready to work the tricep on that same arm. Lay over your chair or your ball, right? And we're going to have the leg straight and the other hand is being used as a little bit of an assister. So get your working arm loaded, your neck and shoulders are free, right? So if you can't comfortably turn your head, then chances are you're not holding yourself up the way you need to. I want you to feel like your spine, your back, from the back of your head to your tailbone, have some tension in them. So the buns are tight. The mass of the tricep will run into your back, your lat mass. So if you don't manipulate your arm into this exaggerated roll back tucked position, then often when you start doing your kickback, you'll feel the skin kind of squeezing in not a good way. So that's just a little side note, push. Since you're using a slightly heavier weight, I want the repetition speed to be faster, right? The head, we're not going to let the head hang. Tucking the chin, but then trying to level out the neck. And if you're comfortable enough to really extend the legs and get them from the floor, even better. 5, 4, 3, 2, release, relax. Bring yourself up. Now, but as we transition to the next leg, the next side for row and kickback, I want us to do, I'm going to do a modified jumping jack. So I'm going to do about 5 modified jacks. A modified jack is a single leg tap out like this, right? It's like, well, that kind of looks like something else, but there's my 5 to each side. And now I'm going to go to full jacks because we want to get the heart rate to like just spike up just a little bit. So you can stay in modified jack or full jack and 8, 7, 6. Maybe you're just moving your arms and you're pumping your legs, right? 4, 3, 2, release, other side. Immediately the heart rate comes up because it's responsive, right? The heart's like, oh my gosh, I have to pump blood faster because more movement just required more muscle activation. And I heard something. So I was on Facebook and they're like, don't believe everything you hear or read, right? So I'm reading the captions of this interview that's going on, shoulder blades, okay? And the words caught my attention, to which then I put the sound into it and I replayed it. Push pull. Now, we know that exercise lifts your mood. It lifts your mood because your endorphins get kicked in, right? But beyond that, this is the thing where I'm not certain whether what was being said is truly scientific. I haven't done the full research on it. So this morning, I asked Alexa, because she knows everything, right? Push, pull. Anywho, the conversation was that when your body's muscles contract, the muscle actually secretes a molecule that they've labeled the hope molecules. And this is why exercise is, it's not why exercise is more important, but it continues to explore, do one more, why exercise plays such a huge role in our mental health, not only our physicality, but mentally. So beyond our endorphin rush that we get, you ready? Tricep kickback, right? There's also things happening that as they continue studying the science of the body, more and more is being revealed how necessary it is, right? And the molecule, it's not about thinking, right? It's not subjective that way. It's that the contraction, as your muscles contract, they produce this molecule. I thought that was fascinating. Raise your legs if you can. Remember, that's the harder version. Take your head and shoulders, raise them up. If your head is cocked up and you're looking forward at the screen, I want you to look down at your imaginary mirror. Get your arm to pull around your lat mass. You're going to start pumping that tricep. Try not to take the hand high, because that dips your shoulders down. You want the arm long, like you're pushing towards your feet. Squeeze. The other hand gets to gently push into the floor to help give you your stiff body line. 10, 9, it's a little fast. 8, if you can flutter kick your legs without bending behind the knees, do so. If your legs are on the floor, I'm okay with that, right? 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, release and relax. All right, you ready? So we're going to do what we did when we came off the chair on the last set. Start your little spring. Decide if you want modified jack, right? Loose arms. Maybe you don't want your legs to tap out, but you can do your arms. If you want an even different jack, you'll jack out to what looks like a shallow little squat. 10, we can go faster. 9, 8, or slow, it doesn't matter. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and cut. Have a little drink. It's time for your ball. We're going to do ball walkouts. We're going to walk out 5 repetitions, our wheelbarrow walkout, which is us on our hands. All right. So I'm just going to pull my chair back just a little bit, but it's still going to be in the equation. With your walkout, if you're feeling strong, if your shoulders are not agitated, if the wrists feel okay, then you're going to explore doing a knee to chest tuck. Okay. So as you start walking out, you're like looking at the screen going, okay, I got this, I got this. Get your shoulders over your wrists, shoulders out of the ears, and then try to pull your knees to you. Now, walk back. So if you don't walk out far enough, right? Then you can't actually really get the ball to pull in. So there's a happy medium where you're teaching yourself, okay, so that's number 2, we're doing 5. You do not have to do the knee to chest tuck in. I just want you to have an alternative movement that gives you a little bit more of a challenge, but that is only if you can get your body far enough forward in your walkout to permit you to pull the knees to your chest. All right. Inhale back. And maybe as you're trying it, you might decide that's a little bit too much. Then don't do it. But if it's not, set it up, pull your belly in, keep the shoulders out of your ears, and that was your 5. And now as you walk back, don't lose control. All right. Elbows are going to come to the floor. Your feet, unless you're on a small ball, your feet won't stay anchored to the floor. But with your elbows down, I want you to glide your shoulders out of your ears. Okay. Stiffen up your legs, squeeze your buns so your hips pull down into the ball, and then lift your legs a little bit. Legs come down, relax the hips, reactivate glutes, raise the legs. You are having to go into pelvic tilt to leverage the leg raise and down. The trick is to, as you pelvic tilt, to not let your neck get crimped. So keep pulling your shoulder blades away from the ears. That's 3 of 5. Pelvic tilt, shoulders out of the ears, squeeze the buns, lift. And even if you're not getting anywhere with this, you're just trying to brace and keep your elbows out of your ears. That's your 5. Roll back. That's what you do. Figure it out. Sitting on the ball. This is your second walkout. Ooh, no mat for me, which is going to make my feet have to work, which is going to make me have to really focus. So into C curve, walk, walk, walk. Head goes to the ball, neck is neutral. Lower the hips. This puts you into your deep knee bend. Pelvic tilt. Bridge the hips up. Start pushing back. Pick up your head, pull your feet back, roll, 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 right? If your feet are in slide mode, then you're not pulling them back far enough as you go to try to sit up. It's an angle that you're trying to hit. Pelvic tilt, chin is tucked, you're in C curve as you walk out. You will comfortably find the ball, lower the hips, pelvic tilt, bridge the hips nice and high. Push back, raise the head, rock the feet back nice and far to help get you up. That's 2 of 5. C curve, walking, walking. The arms are stretching back. Lower the hips, curl and bridge. Push back, raise the head. Now, if your arms are here with mine, as you go to sit up, they might pull forward. But if you can keep them up by your ears, you will work so much harder. You're probably wishing I didn't know all the tricks to make you work harder, but somewhere between arms being down and arms being up, find your zone. For the next 2, if you can keep your arms up with me, here we go. Arms are up, pelvic tilt. Start your walkout. Try not to slide. Walk. Lower the hips, pelvic tilt, bridge the hips. Push back a couple of inches to free up your head so that you can tuck your chin, start your walk back. The arms are being pulled back. Use your strong abs and your curling ability to rock up. Oof, that's 4 or 5. Pelvic tilt, walk it out, chin to chest. The head finds the ball. The feet are under the knees. Lower the hips. Nice stretch. Pelvic tilt. Bridge, 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 bridge. Give yourself your initial pushback of a couple of inches, but your hips are lifted and your buns are tight. Walk back. Where are your arms? Sit up. Release, relax. You're done with your ball. We're going back into our modified jack. Okay, so I've given you 3 versions of jack. You've had bouncing legs, right? You've had alternating tap out leg, which looks like this, right? You've had full, I've actually given you 4 versions. You've had full jack, which is a slower little tempo jack. And then you've had full jack at speed. So we're going to go through all 4 of them. Keep your arms, bounce your legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, modify jack, tap out. 5. Maybe your arms are a little lower, right? 3, 2, halftime jack for 5, right? 3, 4, full-time jack for 5 at speed. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk it out. How is it that 20 little jumping jacks at various speeds can elevate your heart rate? That was less than 20 seconds, right? I was working with a client yesterday, and she saw when she walked in that I was finishing with a new client. And she said, "How do you know what to give people?" And I said, "Well," I said, "the interesting thing about that is that everything that I do are things that everybody actually needs to do. Once you realize that somebody has an injury, deadlifts, we're going to deadlifts. So pick an appropriate weight for the hamstring muscle. If somebody has an injury, then you add in some fine tuning, right, to movement patterns. But starting with a new client, I'm trying to figure out, can they stand on one leg, right? Can they take direction? When I say lower your shoulder blades, retract your scaps, pull your belly in, like if I give a command and I see the parts of their body then get triggered with the verbal command and then they give themselves their cue, then I know, okay, this person has some good body awareness, right? They're able to receive direction. Sometimes it's not that easy, right? Soften knees. It's like you're doing a squat with your best back form. We're going to start it so that it looks like we're squatting, because most people can relate to that version of a deadlift, right? The arms come to the fronts of the thighs. The arms track just below the kneecap. The spine is long. And when you stand up, I want you to pull your arms back to the sides of your hips. Soften your knees. Your body hinges. The weights come right to the tops of the fronts of the kneecaps. Stand up and then pull your arms back and get your pinch. Now, if your hamstrings are really tight, you need to keep doing the combo squat deadlift pattern. If you feel like you're pretty flexible, then you will lessen the degree of your bent leg so that you feel the back thigh get the load. As soon as you hinge forward, if your shoulders pull up towards your jaw and your spine goes to C curve, that might indicate tight hamstrings. If you are not able to stay in flat back spine, then you need to keep bending your legs, right? Really important detail. It's all in the detail. Squeeze, hinge. As you tip forward, your jaw line needs to track down so that you're staring down so that the neck is neutral. All right, do 2 more. Whew. Last one. Good. You're going to do 1 more set of your jumping jacks. So today, instead of putting the hula hoop or the twisty board in, right, I wanted to give them a movement that requires a little explosive strength from your body. Explosive strength relies on the coordination of calf and foot. And then we have to be able to let our knees be our springs, right? So if your ankles are tight and your calves and feet are weak, then it makes it really hard to actually get off the floor. I practice these things with people where I'm literally holding their hand and we're trying to jump over an imaginary line, because often if you don't train it, the body forgets how to use it. So here we go. We're already into just the modified 10, 9, 8, you're bouncing, 7, your heels are lifting off the floor, but the toes aren't. You're getting ready to do your modified jack, which is a tap out leg. I'm going to start with this leg, right? Tap, tap. You're doing 5 each side. There's 2, push, 3. You can stay here, 4, or you can progress to the slow version, jack out, pull. Don't lose your tempo. I'm going to show you something. If this is too much, here's what the movement looks like. And you should find that I'm still in tempo. If you were doing what I was doing a moment ago, you're still in tempo, right? So here we go. Oops. Pull, push, 4, push, 3, push. Get ready. If you can do speed jacks, it's happening now. No stopping in the middle. 3, 4, 10 of them. 5, 6, belly the spine. 8, 9, and relax. For the people that I train that spend a significant amount of time seated, one of the movements that is the hardest for them to do is moving back, right? So it's going to seem funny, but that's our next movement. I want you to come into your space. We're not going to jump forward. You're going to look down at the floor and you're going to try to jump back. How far did you get? Walk forward, because I'm assuming that we don't all have a lot of space, but I'm going to move to the front of my edge here, and I'm going to try to get 5 reverse jumps, not big ones. And each time I jump, I'm going to stop, reset my bent leg. Ready? So you're looking down, bend your legs, jump back, stop. You're in squat position. It's athletic ready. You ready? Jump back, stop, jump back. When you jump back, push your arms forward. You're at attention. Ready? Jump back. Do one more. Jump back. Release and relax. If you found that you couldn't even command your body to move back, this is one of those things. It's a word, neuroplasticity. It's been a while since we've used that word and put it into this framework of like, why do we need to learn how to jump back? What if you had to get out of the way quickly? It's reactionary, right? It's part of your fall prevention. And the funny thing that makes me, we're just marching for a moment because we're going to go in, if you can believe this, we're going to grab our red band and we're going to do our halos, horizontal pulls, some version of using the red band, okay? With a lunge. Then what did we do? You're like, I don't know. You're the one in charge. I don't know. It'll come to me. We did our stork rear delt. Remember that one? You're like, yeah, we did that. Do you remember we did tricep kickback and dumbbell row? These are all the things we're going to build back in. We're going to do one jumbo set. We did the ball walkouts to knee chest. We did the ball walkout to bridge. We're going to nail it, okay? And we're going to get after it. Compose yourself. Ready? Grab your red band. So I used to work in a gym that was 32,000 square feet. Huge facility. They had everything under the sun. And you know what? I was a group fitness. I was not only a trainer there, I was a group fitness instructor there. They also had spin bikes, every setup for body pump. And as an instructor, I was like, oh my gosh, we have all of these gadgets here. My class doesn't have to just be stuck with us in this room full of mirrors doing jazzercise. Are you doing it? Some version? Maybe as you go to step your leg forward, or I should say out to the side, your leg tracks forward because you're like, well, that's kind of what we were doing when we first started. That's okay. So I'm going to do it with you. Instead of stepping out to the side, step on a diagonal. Now, pull the band. As you draw your band back to its start position, slide this leg back. Whew, ready? I keep slowing you down because it might be hard for you to take one powerful step to get your leg out there, but maybe you can do it 4 increments. Now watch. Pull back, try to slide back. Whoo, release the arms. Let's all do the modified. Arms come up. Even if you can't pull them back, stay high. Take your leg, 4 little steps. 2, 3. Isn't that better? Bend it. Get ready. Pull and slide. Arms up. Look, my legs went right into dancer pose. I'm going to stay here. 4 little steps and 2 and 3 and 4. Arms, leg, drag. Right? 4, 3, 2, load, drag. 1 more each side. 4, 3, 2, load it, pull. 1 more. Pull back. Release, relax. You're done with your band. Grabbing your ball. Wheelbarrow walkout to knee to chest tuck if you want the added challenge. Ready? 5 reps. Tuck. So yesterday I was leaving my class and I got to play 3 games of pickleball, which went quite well. Beautiful day yesterday. And as I'm leaving the park, I see this little boy and his grandfather. Little boy, young, getting ready to go down the slide, right? He's sitting at the top of the slide, ready to go down. And I walked by and we just stared at each other. And the grandfather was trying to encourage the little boy to come down the slide. And I was like, he doesn't want to do it with an audience. Like, I'm the audience, right? I was just walking, but I was looking at him and I said good morning and I smiled, but the little boy just sat like in a paralysis. But I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. I think that's 5. Walk back. So I'm navigating these park benches, aluminum tables, right? And I did exactly what I point out to people when we're doing agility work around objects. I clipped the edge of the park bench. I rammed my side of my knee right into the point of the seat. And I've got the biggest bruise and swelled up spot on my knee. Walk away going hobbling. Like, this is ridiculous. I even know not to get that close to things. Bridge the hips. So, like, you take your focus away from moving towards something, right? It's not uncommon to run into stuff and then leave yourself slightly injured, right? Did I fall down? No. Did it hurt? So this morning, like, it's got a big green swollen up knot on it. Lift. Are you into your full range, right? Arms are up because it's harder. Pelvic tilt because that's what protects your back. Draw your chin and your gaze towards your middle body. Bridge the hips up, squeeze the buns, keep your arms pulling back. Roll, 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 roll. Your legs might slide. It's okay. Don't be discouraged by that, right? Walk it out. Number 4. Sink, pelvic tilt, bridge, walk back. Last one. We're going to be taking our 2-pound weights, going into our single leg stork position. Release, stand up. Ready? You need both weights. Okay. Remember the refresh. Step in, decide if you can soften your knee, which is where you need to be, single leg squat. Do you need the other foot helping you? Because if you do, lengthen the leg so that you can forward hinge and feel your hamstring without your spine rounding. I'm going to take my leg from the floor. Arms pull. You want to raise yourself back up. Step back, step in, and pause. Pick your leg position. Hinge. Sweep the arms. Release the arms. Pull up. Step back, step forward, and pause. Soften the single leg stance. Hinge. Pull. Release. Rock up. Back, forward, pause. Soften knee. Hinge. Sweep. Now, you've got one more on each leg. We are going to do 4 repetitions of the arm swing before we come out of the leg movement. Ready? Step in, pick your leg position, 4 arms, 4, 3, shoulder blades are squeezing, 2, pull yourself up, step back, step in, and pause. Hinge, regain control. Sweep the arms. 3, belly to spine. 2, last one, raise up to your controlled position. Step back. Keep 1, right? You're doing single arm row, and then we'll be over our chair for tricep kickback. So you decide how heavy you want to go based on how you're feeling. There you go. Hand and knee, stack the parts, 10 reps. Shoulder blade glide, elbow slides in. 2. Can I just say this? 3. Make as tight of a grip as you can hold, all right? And incorporate your pinky as a primary focus. 5, 6, 7, squeeze. 8, 9, last one. Put yourself over your support base, right? Legs off the floor if you can. Get your arm around your lat mass. Use the other hand to help you stabilize. Your legs are just going to be in stiff-legged flutter kick while the arm moves. Here we go. 10, 9, 8. Your legs don't even have to move. It just gives us a little more. 6, 5, woo, 4. It's working. 3, 2. Now, flip over. Row, and then kick back. Now that the body has gotten that, elevated heart rate and we're moving through our movements quickly, by design, the circuit training kind of, with circuit training, you are able to keep an elevated heart rate that is not at max heart rate, right? But also it's similar to steady state. It's like if you were walking and you had gotten yourself to a good pace, your heart would have a maintained, sustained beat to it. That's what circuit training does if you're able to pick the right amount of weight for your repetition count. Do one more with your arm. it's almost like you're doing aerobic work, right? You're doing aerobics without your feet needing to be in jog mode, because the demand is in the muscle activation. Brace. So getting back to all of the years that I taught, right? And the facility that I worked in, some days the people would show up for class and I'd take them to the spin bikes. And some days the people would show up for class and I'd take them into the gym, and we'd pick 10 stations and we would do a round robin of stations, right? And maybe half of the workout was in the aerobics room and half of the workout was, using the gym in a whole different way. I love the options. You've got about 5 more arms. Flutter kick the legs. 4. We don't have to get stuck doing the same thing all the time. And release. Whew, you're up. Now, the grand finale, okay, is your heavy weight deadlift. Right? So you need both of them. Hopefully you're feeling like you're starting to perspire a little bit. Thermogenesis. Do you know why you sweat? I mean, do you know why the body is actually able to do that? Right? Soften the knees. I want it to seem like you're doing a squat until you figure out how much control you have over your back, right? So this would be where the mirror would come in handy, because you would turn yourself to the side and you'd look at your mirror. Because if you couldn't look at your mirror comfortably, it's probably because your spine is rounded, right? So you squat, weight comes to the fronts of those kneecaps, and stand up. But I know that I've got better control, so I can actually do stiff leg hinge. There's a reason why you don't want your arms forward out here. You want the load to stay close to your leg, right? 3 more. Hinge, you're looking down. You can hinge and take your weight as low as you can control your lumbar. But as soon as you go beyond is when you'll feel the strain in your back. And often people do not know how to control their lumbar, which is why the suggestion, this is the last one, the suggestion is for you to keep your legs soft. You're done with these weights. Grab a little drink. It's called, there's a Romanian deadlift, right? There's stiff-legged deadlift. There's like a sumo squat deadlift. All right, it's time to stretch. Just want to make sure we didn't forget any part of it. I don't think we did. So into using your chair to help you stretch, I want you to think IT band. So that's going to be this whole like side body limb. Get loaded on one leg, let the hips sweep, bring the arm up. You're taking your hand that's on your chair to push you away. Lengthening the high arm and trying to take your body, okay? Twist towards your chair a little bit. Lean. Oh, the stretch should just feel like it's so long. Squeeze the bun on that trailing leg side. The front leg is not even a necessary component of our body, right? It's from the hand to the foot. You're creating a crescent shape. This leg, we just are getting it out of our way. And now release. Okay. So before we move ourselves around, right? Take your other leg, load it, use your hand on the chair, push into the chair, use your free hand, push into the hip. It is the same stretch line on the other leg, but they should feel very different, right? The body tends to rock the shoulders tend to rock back and the hips want to push forward. Pull your middle in and tighten your bun so that your body isn't offsetting too much. Release. You can just turn around if you want to. I'm going to continue facing the screen. Okay. My outside leg is my stretch leg. Inside leg is out of my way. Hand is on the chair or your wall or your sofa, not for you to get closer to it, but for you to push away a little bit. So like my chair, I'm kind of pulling it to me. Oh my goodness. The imaginary hanging vertical line. Pull your hips through, release the stretch, uncross, let the other leg load, right? Hand to hip, push in, shoulders out of the ears, pull the hips through. And I hope that you're getting like maybe even through the top of that crease area. It wouldn't be uncommon for you to feel some pressure there. Release. Now think tricep and lats. Right? So can you keep the heels of your hands or the side edges of your hands on whatever you're using? All right. Push back. We're only going to have one arm as your dominant stretch. So take the other arm, it's free because that will free up your shoulder. Soften your knees, right? In the event, as soon as you go into the stretch, you feel a pinch at the top of the shoulder. I can tell you exactly why that's happening. Because your hand that's on your chair is in line with your middle. You want it wide, okay? So if that pinch is happening to you, put your hand on the chair and move your body away from your hand so that you can free up your shoulder, all right? Holding 5, 4, 3, 2. Now pull yourself up. Just assume that that's going to happen on the other shoulder. Put your hand in the center. Move your body away from the midline to give your shoulders some extra room. Your legs are comfortably wide and soft. You can even brace your hand on your leg so that you don't overstretch. The real trick is not being in C curve and letting your head hang. You want your whole trunk to be used as your leverager. All right. And maybe in this position, you do a little side gliding to figure out where is the spot that feels the best for your shoulder. All right. Release and relax. The last one. Take your deep breath. Bring your arms down. Interlace your fingers. Take your shoulders, squeeze them back, lengthen the arms, belly to spine. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Namaste. You guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you mañana. Maybe.